So to wrap up the year, Pokemon and Netflix have released their first original series, the Pokémon Concierge. Now, when we got our first look at the series back in February, there was not a lot to say about it, having only one brief teaser and a lot of other stuff to look forward to. But now that we've finally gotten to watch this beautiful show with a tropical island setting at the tail end of December, is it a new diamond in the rough or just another present to add to the pile? My name is GatorX, and join me as we take a little vacation to review the Pokémon Concierge. This series is composed of 4 episodes, each being between 14 and 20 minutes in length, with episode 1 being the longest. Here we get our introduction to the protagonist, Haru, a woman who's dealt with one misfortune after another, and so she's ready for a fresh start with a new job at the Pokemon Resort. And as soon as we arrive, we also meet her boss, Miss Watanabe. She's a neat little character, though she mostly serves as a guide through these 4 episodes. Most of the focus remains on Haru. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to gush about the visuals at some point, so might as well mention it now. This whole thing looks absolutely gorgeous. Being a modern stop-motion animated anime, every frame is literally painstakingly crafted and you can just see and feel every little detail, from the designs to the movement. I think there was a bit of aversion to the human characters at first, but I'd say that's pretty standard when it comes to stop-motion puppets. But they really grow on you the more they move around. You can really see the exaggeration and cartoony style come through, and they actually blend pretty well with the Pokemon, which are all perfect translations into little articulated puppets. I'm also pretty surprised at just how grand the scale is, accomplished with physical sets and a bit of green screen compositing that's actually pretty seamless. This entire island feels so alive, and I want nothing more than to visit it. And lastly, everything is just so vibrant and bright, I swear I could feel fog melting away from my eyeballs the more I looked at it. Alright, anyway, back to the actual plot of the show. Haru is assigned as one of the Pokemon concierges. Her job is to ensure the happiness and well-being of the Pokemon staying at the resort. Her initial assignment being to enjoy her first day there as a guest. And now we get to see a bit more of her character, being someone who's so caught up in adult life that even though she's captivated by the resort, has a little trouble actually enjoying herself. She's completely caught off guard by her coworker and one of the other characters introduced, the ultimate Chad dude bro, Tyler. He's got all the elemental monkeys hanging out with him, and I love that they were chosen as some of the Pokemon to be predominantly featured because they're all just so cute, and they bring this rambunctious sibling energy that works the best with them as opposed to any of the dozens of other monkey Pokemon. So Tyler is like a maintenance, sanitation worker, employee cook, and swimming and wakeboard and extreme yoga instructor. Like I said, absolute Chad. Haru also meets Alyssa, who's a part-time worker. I assume she's still in school when not at the resort because she looks pretty young. She's cool and laid back, and her partner Pokemon is Mudkip. Alyssa helps give Haru a little more instruction on how to enjoy her first day as a guest, starting with an outfit change, and I highly recommend floral shirts. They change your mood instantly for the better. Haru is able to start settling in, enjoying a nice meal, and actually relaxing. Throughout the episode, we get some glimpses at a Psyduck hanging out around the island, running away into the bushes when spotted. We had also known this would be an important Pokemon from the marketing, but it's pretty interesting to see how little it appears in episode 1, allowing things to build up toward it in a natural way. Finally, Haru gets a massage from Miss Watanabe and falls asleep until we cut back to her in her room, feeling guilty for even relaxing. And dang if this wasn't a relatable kind of moment. Of course, her job at the resort shouldn't be the same kind of stressful as her life beforehand. Sure, there'll still be challenges, but the fact that her assignment for the first day was to enjoy the resort as a guest means that she was meant to do just that, not spend the entire night putting together a presentation about her day. And after attempting to present that report to her boss the next day, she finally sees the purpose of the resort and her assignment and realizes how naive she's been about everything. And I'm so glad it took her only 1 episode to come to that conclusion because she actually gets to continue having a great time throughout the series. The entire purpose of her job and the show as a whole is just to vibe out and have fun with Pokemon, a message I can totally get behind. A quick little arc for Haru in the first episode, but of course it continues on. And we get the hook for the next episode as Miss Watanabe gives her another assignment, that being to pick one Pokemon and make it feel the same way she does by the end of the day. So now that we're all loosened up and ready for relaxation, we can head right into episode 2. Still trying to fully fall into her routine, Haru has a little trouble really understanding Pokemon, mistaking some of them playing around together as conflicts that she needs to solve. Unable to just look at the answers on her phone, a nice talk with Alyssa while painting helps her realize that Pokemon obviously aren't going to tell her what will make them happy, but the fun comes in discovering the answer for herself. And after catching up with Tyler, we get right into her quest to befriend Psyduck and help it have a fun time at the resort. And I think the two of them make a cute pair. Haru is able to get some research done, learning more about the whole Psyduck suffering from headaches because of its immense psychic powers thing. She comes to the conclusion that Psyduck may think it's causing trouble, and so it runs away and hides. Thankfully, after Psyduck helps her catch some runaway berries, she's able to confront it and comfort it. so to help Psyduck's powers from getting out of control, they start using a little psychic at a time to relieve some of the headaches. And this is also such a cute little idea, even though it mostly results in shenanigans. At least Psyduck seems to have calmed down and really starts making friends with people in Pokemon, actually having fun after spending the day with Haru. And so Haru's official first day at work ends in success as she's able to begin working toward understanding the needs of Pokemon and helping them to have the same kind of fun that she's having. Well, these first 2 episodes make for a great start to the series, though that does mean that we're actually already halfway through. In episode 3, Haru's gotten more acclimated to life at the resort, but she starts to struggle with figuring out what she's good at. And after meeting Magikarp that needs a floaty to swim despite being a water type, she makes the more important discovery that it doesn't matter what she's good at, she should try and do what she thinks is fun. But seeing as Magikarp's floaty ends up accidentally stolen by a Wingull, it looks like finding the floaty and bringing it back is what she'll be doing today. She takes a ride on Dragonite over the Wii Sports Resort and with the help of Psyduck is able to get the floaty off of Wingull, only for it to fall onto the beach and get flattened by a Snorlax. Welp. While camping out for the night, she tries to fix it, only able to make it look really pretty with a bunch of flowers. But everything is resolved once they find the Magikarp and then it evolves into a Gyarados, thus no longer needing the floaty. Overall, a pretty nice little metaphor for growth through adversity. Even though Haru wasn't able to give back the floaty to Magikarp as intended, she was still able to take charge during her first week while doing what she was able to, and through the process was able to find out something she could do through her own talents that makes some of the Pokemon happy, making flower floaty bouquets that the Pokemon really enjoy playing with. And finally, episode 4 begins with a bunch of Pikachu and their trainers arriving at the resort. Haru meets a young boy named Now and his very shy Pikachu. He's concerned that it isn't very sociable and it has a very quiet voice. He wants it to be more like the other Pikachu, at the very least being a little louder. So Haru helps him by doing a bunch of things around the island to try and get it to speak up. Though the conclusion they come to at the end of the day after Pikachu has been able to at least have some fun is that Pikachu doesn't need to act like others in order to be a Pikachu. They're all different and that's alright as long as it's with its trainer. And we get another cute little episode with them all just vibing out and having fun. As Now and Pikachu are on the ferry home, it takes a look at the drawing of it and Psyduck that Haru had given to it as a gift. And so it's able to call out to them back at the docks, now finally able to speak up. And so that's it, that's the Pokemon Concierge. Of course there's a little more additional stuff to serve as the conclusion, but as far as stories, that's all. While it was a fun 4 episodes, it does kind of feel like it's ending just as things were getting started. Like I said, episode 1 and 2 were great together, making the beginning and introductions. But I imagine a full series of even more episodes would play out similarly to episodes 3 and 4, with each one focusing on how Haru meets a new Pokemon and helps it out while at the resort. This being a stop-motion series and a spin-off of Pokemon at that, it makes a lot of sense for why it was as long as it was. Viewing it all together as like a little movie, which I often tend to do for the spin-off mini-series for Pokemon, makes it flow together a little better. But it's just that it definitely feels like the groundwork was laid for a 12-episode series that stops at only 4. That said, what we did get was amazing. I had the video pretty front-loaded with a gush about the visuals and vibes, but I think the character work specifically for Haru and her relationship with Psyduck is well done. Pokemon Concierge is pretty clear with the message it wants to bring. Take some time to relax, chill out, vibe, and buy Pokemon products. And it accomplishes that perfectly. So let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below and which Pokemon was your favorite. Anyway, if I've learned anything, it's that I really need to take a break, man. Catch me at the Pokemon Resort hang out with the monkeys. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the Great Gators. Actual Clown, Alex Switz, Andika, Cheeseburger Lasers, DeAndre, Duncanchino II, Jen Eric, It's Mr. 800, Justin Dowes, Justin R, Cosmo Zero, Lockadox, Mazhar Siddiqui, McCryptid, Meme Supreme, No Man Nobi, Oleg Studios, P, Phantom, Peel the Genius, Quago, Savion Washington, Scotty Fan Club, Sean, Tajirai, Volity, and Pastel Blood. If you would like to support, get a shout out here as well as access to emotes for comments and live streams, you can become a channel member today. We're getting so many members here on the channel that I think going into the new year, I'm not necessarily going to shout out everybody at the end of every video, but instead we'll take a random set of people to put into the shout out for that video. And that will also definitely include anyone who's joined as a new member for that week. Though don't worry, I'll definitely be working on some additional perks that will just kind of beef everything up, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, you can also follow me on Twitter for more memes and Twitch for more streams. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.
You can discover new Pokémon and explore a world beyond your own in Pokémon Sun and Pokémon Moon on Nintendo 3DS. Games rated everyone.